Welcome to
The
Fourth
Action.
Woo!
So let's recap. Our first three actions were 1, 1, and 1.
Oh, the dice rolls recently, man.
Man, yes, they've been brutal.
Just today, there have been 5 or 6
See, I had
ones.
3 ones
I've
rolling
had-
for the monsters and
Yeah.
NPCs, and I know Brook had double ones. You had
I had 1.
1. Hal had double ones. Did
I
you
had
have
a 1.
Yeah, it's just ones. Did anyone ever get a 20?
In the end, oh yeah.
Fawin got one.
Yeah.
Plame got a 20.
And okay, and there was the lizard got a 20.
Yes.
Oh
You
my
guys still haven't figured out
goodness.
what that thing is.
Oh, did that battle not go out the way things were planned?
No,
Inara?
man. Yeah, you lost your big gun in the first round.
I literally thought, I was thinking in my head, what will my next character be? I was that.
It was close.
I didn't
man.
really know how it was going to go, but I was already thinking about what my next character would be because I really thought there was a chance.
There was.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there's always a chance.
Yeah,
It's Pathfinder.
Pathfinder is deadly. Like it's you can survive, but if things take a left turn, you're in deep doo-doo fast.
It's a little scary.
I
I'm
bet.
scared.
Well, and you had
I
been
felt fine. What are you talking about?
I didn't. I just now thought about this. That thing did that trip whirlwind. Would that have hit Inara too, possibly?
Oh.
Because it did damage.
Right.
now in my mind's
She was
eye,
already prone though.
In my
Yeah.
mind's eye, I heard the DM talk about it like at knee
knee
level.
level. Yeah, it
so
would
that
be
would
down.
be like just above
Yeah, it's,
comatose.
Right.
RP wise, I totally agree. Rules as written wise,
I think in the rules it strikes every.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can trip
trip a prone
opponent.
character. No. So yeah.
Oh, ding, ding,
Now, rules as written, we have not been playing by
Well,
very
that-
But
well,
we're trying.
but we are trying.
Yeah, little mess up with the hero points there.
We learned some things. The episode 17 or 18, maybe episode
Yeah.
18.
No,
we
we
learned
did-
some
Who
things.
knows?
Figure out it would probably been the same result, but
This is true because why? Do you remember?
well, I was just gonna use all my hero points
Yeah.
anyway. So it was me being greedy with my hero points, which
Yeah, don't be greedy with them.
Yeah.
Don't be greedy.
yeah.
Yeah, there's really is like they want you to have almost like a hero point economy. Like they want them to keep flowing because it only takes one to bring you from dying back to unconscious and stable. But also the rules say
Yeah, well,
to do that costs all of your
cost
hero points.
all of them. Well, you can either blow one and get a reroll,
Yes.
or blow all of them and guarantee success.
yes.
If you can use the hero point to reroll 1 dice, but you have to take the result.
And
That
that's-
was the other part that messed up, which Hal did right
Yep.
before that. And
Which seemed totally fair to allow Emily to be able to do it,
Yeah.
but then her second roll
was a 1.
was a 1.
That was my 1.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, it was worse.
It was really bad.
Yeah. Which brought you down a 1 on a dying check, on a stabilization check, knocked
Yeah.
you down
So
2.
we figured out
Yeah.
that we did the critical on me wrong too, where I would have been in dying 2.
Yeah, if you get taken out by a critical, you don't go to dying 1, you go to dying 2.
So that 1 would have killed Inara.
Yep.
Yeah.
In another universe, Inara is dead.
Yes.
But
yes.
you would have
And
dumped.
throw it out there. So,
I think you would have dumped all 3 of
Well,
your.
yeah.
For
but-
sure, if we
Exactly.
would have
Yeah.
known that. Yeah.
and now that we know, like for Plame, he used a hero point to reroll. He didn't have to. He could have just used that same 1 hero point to have an automatic hit.
An automatic hit.
He was
No, I
fired.
think-
He was rerolling his fire. Is it an automatic success or is it only for
Only
death?
for dying.
No,
Only
just for dying.
Okay.
You have to
Yeah.
take the second
we're-
roll if
we're
it's
still
for a
figuring
skill
it out.
check or an attack roll or something like
Yeah,
that.
yep,
Got it.
Man, that would be overpowered if you could cash in hero points for an auto 20,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say auto success. I wouldn't say auto critical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even an auto success would be pretty powerful.
Yeah.
So why are there no villain points?
You know what? I
Not-
like her thinking.
See, you're making an assumption that there's not. If we got Stagrum in the party, who knows? You know? Oh, Stagrum level 1, he's going to spend a villain point.
Inara goes down, and but luckily before that, you had done amazingly well.
Oh yeah, right off the bat, she rolls a 20, just rips that thing open.
Well, I didn't roll a 20. It was
No, it was just a regular.
No, it
but
was
she had the
just
magic
a magic
weapon
weapon.
Yeah.
The augment
for the extra
If
die.
it was critical, it would have been 40-12.
Oh my goodness, because it
that could have killed
stacks.
it.
You could have
Yeah.
one-shot it. Wouldn't that have been awesome?
Oh,
Just
I
run out
would've
there
been-
I'm sure the
chopping
DM
it
would
off.
have loved it. He would have been like, that's super.
could you imagine somewhere there's a universe where that happened, where you rolled a 20 and a critical success, doubled it, and just went out there and lopped its head off in the first round.
And then the halfling sitting up there in the balcony going, oh, crap.
That's true. He watched half your party get almost taken out by that lizard, so you guys were a little less impressive to him.
Boddy just got tripped. He didn't go down unconscious down, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
He just took some damage.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did go down against the warg a while back.
That's true.
Yeah.
How low was Boddy on hit points in the lizard fight?
Oh, you got to 15 hit points.
Okay, so you were fairly safe.
I thought I was safe.
fair.
I was at
Well,
19.
the thing can do up to 16 points of bite. So
Holy smokes! And then it rolled a.
it rolled a crit, and it rolled pretty good on its crit. It did 26.
There are maximum damage rules in Pathfinder 2e, where if you take double your max hit points
It's
in
auto-
damage, you're automatically dead.
Yeah, you're just poofed. You're gone.
Fawin has 14 hit points, so that 26 points of damage that
away.
Inara took would have been just 2 hit points away from Fawin being permadeath if
Yeah.
she had
That's
been
crazy.
bitten. Like if he had done it again. I was super nervous about stepping in over there, but we needed to get Inara back up somehow.
Yeah.
It was touch and go.
I teased it in the last roundtable, I think. I also thought Dizzying Colors, which in a playtest we did, just completely disabled a group of bandits in a playtest we were doing, like a session 0. And I thought, here we go, man. This dumb beast, it's going to have a low will save because it's a dumb beast. And that was not the case.
It rolled good and it has a good bonus both. So
Yeah.
A really
That's when-
wise crocodile dragon.
And
Weird.
I think, lizards are probably colorblind, so.
no, yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Cold-blooded.
What amazed me is you actually took. I mean, the party took a lot of damage in that fight, but you actually took him down in like 3 rounds, 3 rounds.
Yeah.
It was pretty quick, but it
It was
felt,
brutal.
it felt longer.
It did feel longer.
It really did.
And
What
we
do you mean? You
discovered
were sleeping
another
through most
rule.
of it.
And we discovered another rule we were probably playing wrong earlier for deferred action.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Talk about, so it's delay?
Right. So you can hold your action, and that's fine. You can do that, and then you can immediately take your action at the end of any creature's turn. But you permanently move your initiative to that spot,
Now, does delay cost you an action
and
to
it
do,
costs
right?
an action to do so as well.
Okay.
So, as you say, we're learning. We're learning.
The rules lawyers are coming for us right now.
Yeah, you can hear them in the back.
We shouldn't have admitted that out loud.
We'll just throw ourselves in the mercy of the Hell Knight Court.
Yeah, that's what it's known for. Mercy.
The mercy, yeah.
So when these guys get
They are right here at your house. We're in trouble. If this episode suddenly ends, you guys know that.
they done got us. Speaking of Hell Knight Mercy, what are y'all thinking of Stackrum?
Well, I thought he was pretty cool until he asked me to repay him for the health potion.
I love that.
That saved me from dying.
And I have to say, we were looking. Health potions ain't cheap. Holy crap! I think like all the loot we took out of that first floor of that castle was worth like 4 gold. And that's not enough for even for a minor healing potion. Or lesser, what they call lesser healing potion.
Yeah, a minor is 4 gold pieces.
What's a lesser? Is that
12.
12?
Yeah. So the minor barely bought a minor.
Yeah.
So we found what 4 or 5 of these potions in there. So that's the most valuable thing we pulled out of that.
Yeah.
And we drank it like drunken loons.
Oh, we
Yeah.
did. We
Had to.
I mean,
Survival, man.
yeah, someone was
Yeah.
not doing very
Hey.
well at their job.
Hey. Hey.
It's been so hard on Boddy, but at the
Poor
same
Boddy.
time, there have been moments that without him,
Oh,
without
yeah.
your healing,
Yeah.
without the healing that has been successful,
When it
we would
works.
be in trouble.
When it works, it's awesome.
When it
Yeah.
doesn't, though. Yeah, one of my
Million.
one of my natural ones was on. I was trying to heal an aura just now,
Yes.
and it
Did
did a point
luckily,
of
it
damage to
only
her.
did a point.
Yes.
Yeah.
On a D8, and she had 4 hit points left. It could have killed her.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
they could have.
Oh, it would have been great. Do
Yes.
you, Stacy? Do you think Stagrim is there to possibly help balance this encounter a little bit? Because it
could
seemed
be.
like that lizard seemed very ferocious.
He was mean and surly. Yeah, I think he might have been in there. I think he provides a couple things. One, he provides you insight into the Hell Knights because they're kind of instrumental to this adventure.
Cool.
And he also gives you a little extra firepower if you befriend him. You can do things to hack him off and he'll leave. So
We had mentioned off camera that on the map, we basically covered the entire first floor, almost every single room, just about.
yeah, there was a single
Whereas,
hallway missed.
but there's no reason why if we hadn't made a different choice, we could have been in like the first 15 or 20 minutes of hitting the castle and exploring it. We could have been in this room. We wouldn't have met Stagrim. And we
Correct.
could have fought this battle without him, not even knowing he was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So
chances-
and we joked about it's like, oh man, we could have been second level much sooner, but we probably would not have survived that encounter without him, I think.
Yeah.
It would have been rough.
Yeah, because he did a good amount of damage and he absorbed some hits.
I think that was the bigger thing. He took some targets.
Yeah, he took at least one bite that would have gone either to Fawin or to Boddy because we were there in range, right?
Yeah.
And Boddy's hit with the
Flail.
with the flail you had
Morning Star.
or the
Morning
Morning Star. You had used your spell strike with that.
Yes, I used Ignite with Spell Strike. Ignition, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So it was like 2d6 of fire damage plus 1d6 piercing damage, I think I chose, because it's a versatile weapon. And it did some damage.
It did. Stacy, as you were describing results of that hit, I didn't think it was going down. I thought
Yeah.
we had heard it badly, but I thought it was fixing to be big trouble.
Yes. Excellent stagecraft, sir. I was like,
Thank you.
how hurt is it? Okay, what do we do next turn? And then he said, and it dies. I'm like, oh.
We
It
had
was good.
we had two heroes in that set in this courtyard encounter. Like Boddy took that out.
Yeah.
Right? Well, really three, because Inara is the unsung one because her first hit was so massive.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then this halfling and Plame.
Thing is, you took the dragon, dog, crocodile thing. You took that down pretty quick. Like I said, about 3-4 rounds. The halfling, he lasted like 5.
Yeah,
or
he's hard to
6.
hit.
He was.
He was that quick. So what was the deal with the item that disintegrated?
He had something that would basically give him an armor class bonus against one opponent.
That's what you had to deal with.
Yep.
There's a lot of like single-use
Yeah,
items.
it was a single
in
use
this.
item. He could pick a guy and +2 armor class. That's why you were having such a hard time hitting him.
Yeah, when you said that first hit of like 21 misses or something like
You're
that.
like, what?
I was like, we're in trouble.
Yeah, we're like, he has an
Plus two,
armor
that
class.
means his natural armor class is a 20.
Yep.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, he is tough.
Did the halfling still get +1 armor class?
Well, he was at third level.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it's
that's
proficiency bonus.
right.
Proficiency bonus plus dexterity plus whatever. He had leather armor on. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5.
Does level
6,
factor
7,
into that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Proficiency, yes. So it's your base plus your item plus your dex plus your proficiency.
Wild, that's awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, everything hits really hard.
Yeah.
Everything has high to hit bonus. Like you need it.
Your damage bonus can go up at the same. It scales the same rate.
Yeah, the
almost, so-
scaling, because like the monsters you fight, they also get +1 proficiency bonus as well. So it really shines when you're fighting lower level monsters, which we have not done.
I mean, the swarm of spiders was low
No,
level.
they're high level.
We don't talk about spiders.
Yeah, they think they were CR0.
DC1.
CR0 maybe?
Yeah.
And then Hal was like, the book lies.
I'm talking about like monsters below us.
Oh, yeah.
We've only fought the goblin dogs, I think, are CR0.
Yeah. and
The bat,
Swarm.
maybe?
no, the spider swarm was
CR0.
rated CR0, though I agree with
There were
Al.
two
I
of them,
think they're
though.
high.
They were CR0?
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
But
Well,
if
they
you,
were-
they are.
I mean, if you think about it, though, we could have just took a few steps back and chucked furniture at them until they were
True.
dead.
Which is
Yeah,
a
true.
weird rule.
Speaking of weird, you guys are second level now.
I
Oh,
know.
thank God. I've
So
been.
exciting.
Before we do that, circling back around, one last,
yeah.
maybe two last things about the courtyard. One, I didn't realize it at the time when we were looking at the map, but that difficult terrain and the rope and the stairs being down or being crumbled, that created a tremendous obstacle for us not just being able to get up to the halfling right away.
Yep.
What do you
Yeah.
mean?
Well, yeah, but then
Yeah.
yes, and that was awesome. I can't, I mean,
Except for one of us. One of us
Yeah.
had no trouble.
talk about how choosing the right background was incredible. Like, da, 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 da.
I mean, there are things I think that was interesting, and part of it reading through that feat, I had maybe not remembered it quite right. So reading through it again was good, but yeah, I mean that just makes sense. He was in the circus. He did acrobatic stuff on the high wire. He did the tightrope walk kind of stuff and entertainment, and all that kind of translates into his, really high acrobatics and really high dexterity. And so, the ability just to kind of run and jump and catch that rope and just be up that in one round and then up that next one as a
Oh
climb.
yeah, just one
Climbing
move.
half your
Boom, boom,
movement speed,
two.
right? You just,
Yeah, 2 actions. He's at the
Yep.
top.
It was crazy because it took the rest of us all this time to get up there.
Yeah.
But, story-wise, it works out great because now you have all these goblins and it's the goblin that's coming to save them.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, there's the whole, group of heroes, but it's the goblin that's coming.
He's
So,
leading the charge.
Little
I
psychological.
love it when the story. I love it when just when you can't write that kind of script, it just naturally happens.
Yeah.
Where Plame gets celebrated with all these other goblins cheering him, and obviously the leader of the party and the hero of the
Obviously.
day. At least in the goblin eyes, anyway.
Yeah.
Nah. We all know
I mean-
Inara's the leader.
Some of the best story moments have also been when we rolled ones.
Yep.
Oh,
Just,
I-
Boddy shooting Fawin and
Hey,
finally
but that was
hitting
great.
with-
It was
yeah.
that was just the whole campaign, right? The first time you hit with that spell.
Yeah.
And then taking a little dunk in the water.
oh God, that was oh.
I
Such
think
good role play.
One of my favorite moments was Fawin identifying those items incorrectly.
Again, the natural
Yeah.
ones. Oh.
But the natural one, well, I know you rolled a critical miss. That wasn't a natural one when the dragon dog bit
Stagger.
No,
staggered. That was
Yeah.
not a natural.
That
one.
was just a regular critical.
The
miss.
was
natural
regular
one was
critical.
on the halvling when he was trying to attack
Yes.
Fawin.
yeah.
Right.
She threw
And
his
that would have been
cloak over
important
his head.
because I'm not 100% positive that Fawin wouldn't have died. That halvling hit hard.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
What-
He probably could have taken her down in a round or two.
Oh, I think it around. Like
Yeah.
he was
Actually-
easily doing more than 14 hit points a shot, or pretty
he was
close.
doing about 8 a shot.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was, I see.
But you had like what, 8 or 9 left?
At that, oh yeah, after that, because of it had happened after the ice burst. Then yeah, she would have only had 8 hit points left, and then she would have
he
been
could have
down.
potentially taken her out in a round. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was getting more than one hit in a round is what it was. That's why he was
Yes.
doing so much damage. He was just little knives
Because
everywhere.
his plus is like, what, plus 15 or whatever. It was stupid.
He was rolling good, man. He was in the zone.
Yeah, yeah. That's okay.
We're
Another-
done rolling. It's okay.
As demonstrated here.
Don't roll the bones again. So, another great roleplay moment that wasn't by the dice, that was all character. Again, Emily, as you have Inara coming back up out of consciousness, most players being meta would have jumped up, let's get back in there. And instead, you play her completely different, which from a player perspective was, I don't want to say frustrating because it was wonderful. But it did gimp us that she didn't jump right back into the fight, but it was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like it when players play just, I want to win. Like unrealistically, like I want to play the character whether it's in or out of combat. And that's why, she doesn't just go in and rage every combat, She actually has to have a reason to.
That's very cool. Thus the line
Now,
about
it might frustrate some people, like, why, what are you doing? But I don't
it's great.
Why aren't you angry?
Yeah. I mean, it's the way that I feel like it should be played.
The therapy's been working.
And you teased that it was coming. You said, "Oh, that makes her mad. I think she's
Right.
gonna," and then
she
chomp.
nearly died. So
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't have said it so loud. It hurt you.
So
The
yeah,
dragondial, or whatever you want to call it.
I don't really like playing that way.
And then you come over to the water, and we're all like going, "What are you doing?" Because I need to wash my face off, and we're all like, "No!"
And we were just grossed out because Staggering puked in it, but it was a lot worse than even that. See, this is why Plame doesn't go around water.
Was it basically the goblin toilet? Is that what that was?
Yeah, it was the
The crocodile.
Crocodile toilet.
the dragondial, its toilet.
Great. Gosh, gross.
Yeah.
I read, so harkening way back to what Emily said, the ones can be better, the natural one rules can be better storytelling mechanisms. Absolutely. I read an article that, failure is what makes stories interesting. The struggle is what makes it interesting, not the success is expected. Like when you're listening, like, oh, of course this person's good at this. They're going to get this done. Or, yeah, the hero's going to fight the thing. It's going to kill the dragon. It's the twists and turns and the things that don't go as planned.
Oh man, why did it go that way? Yeah.
That's what makes a story interesting. Like we do a lot of Game of Thrones references. You don't really celebrate the victories as much as you do like the deaths in that show. So like that's what they like. Oh, do you remember when that happened? Or oh no, the red wedding and like
Spoilers,
the betrayals.
in case no one's watched it. But,
Yeah. Well, I didn't say what happened.
Yeah,
say
I
what
know,
happened
but
at the-
I mean, most
Yeah.
people know it.
Yeah.
It was
It's
catered.
like
It was a
10
catered.
years old by now, right?
Yeah, it's
You're old.
super old.
You're old.
Super old.
All those defeats, all those failures, all those betrayals, that's what scratches the itch.
Oh.
Let's talk a little bit about dice and story and interesting things. So, Plame gets up to the top and kind of bluffs the halfling, manages to get behind him, rolls a really good roll and misses. And then he gets just demolished, hurt. He continues on with his, he's going to stay in the fight. He tries again. He misses.
Oh.
And then Fawin comes. And does a couple of what seem like maybe minor fate nudges.
Pulls one of Mesmer's ability to cause luck +1 or -1, and then cast Nudge Fate cantrip.
Exactly. So these are small, minor details. And then the dice tell the story, right? Plame kind of looks up. He sees Fawin out there and that little bit of fate, and then he just goes to town. And
Oh yeah, you started chewing him up
yeah,
after that.
that
You couldn't
halfling
touch
just starts
him.
taking chunks of damage. And then we go into the next round. So we're like, well, this is really good luck paying back all these ones. We go to the next round, and then Fawin grabs the dagger and just poof, nails it.
Right in the back.
Oh, that was the natural 20.
That was a natural
Yeah.
20. And then, again, keep in mind, I mean, Plame had less than maybe a 22% chance to hit this guy. And then he rolls and hits. And it's enough that it knocks him unconscious, right?
Yeah.
So,
'Cause your damage was really
within
awesome.
The first half of that battle was terrible. And then we get, as the group coming in together and just leveraging it together. And suddenly it just flips.
Fawin brings fate with her. I tell
Bringing
you.
fate with her.
And
That's
again,
right.
it's that. So narratively, that's Plame believing
Exactly. She's a hero, and that she's
together we're going to be heroes, right?
yes,
And so am I.
That's right.
I love that. That is so awesome.
And
But
then,
you can't write that stuff.
and then all the goblins were like, yeah, that's our hero.
I love the image of Plame just like tumbles through the goblins to get that were all up there on the walkway.
it's like-
and Inara and Fawin are like, "Excuse me, pardon me, will you get
So harking back to the Lord of the Rings, right? Legolas is jumping up on the snow and running across it, and then the guy, Boromir and Aragorn are pushing through with their shields. Exactly.
So that was very exciting.
Yeah. And not to toot my own horn, I really like that line that Plame threw out at the very end there when they were saying, "Oh, you're a hero."
Yeah.
And he said, "No, we
are
heroes."
We are heroes.
As a group.
Woo. Very good.
We
Very
may
good.
we may have found a title for
An
the
episode title. Yeah. Woohoo. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we leveled up.
Yay! Any idea what you're gonna do?
I haven't looked at what barbarians get at 2nd level, but
Might I recommend something animal companion related if you're going to keep your...
that is true. I
Oh,
haven't
she
thought
could
about
do some
that.
type of
Yeah.
There's the Beastmaster archetype that I've
what?
But you can't do archetypes until, what, 3rd? 2. You can do archetypes at 2?
Oh my goodness!
See,
not all of them. Some of them have prerequisites, but
Okay.
there's most of
the
the
most
Yeah, I'll
reading
have
up
to
on
look.
archetypes in the next week
I'll
or
have to
two.
look. I haven't
Path
even-
Builder is like the way I did it. Like look them up.
I haven't even thought about. I mean, I haven't looked.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. How something in the last few episodes, you got the mage hand, and then there was something else. I can't remember what it was, but it was this idea. Oh, every now and then, like there's an extra glimmer of fire or something in Plame's eyes. You don't have to say either way, but is there going to be like an arcane trickster type of element to Plame? Do you see any magic use in his future? Is that what you're hinting at, or am I reading too much?
I think
into
you're just reading
things?
too much. This is more psychological.
Emotional fire.
Emotional. Goblins,
Okay.
I think, maybe, and this is just me making this up as I go. This is not at all lore. But I'm thinking goblins are very emotional, and you can see some of that just through their eyes. Eyes are the windows to the goblin soul, right?
You know what? That makes me think of Babylon 5 and the Narn, how when they get angry, their eyes turn red a little bit. If goblin eyes turn a little brighter red or flare a little bit.
Flare up a little.
Or,
Okay.
even, maybe it's just a little bit psychic, but even the humans, right? There's, in Allegory, there's that flicker of madness behind the eyes,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So
Or
it's
see
more,
red.
more of that kind of thing, right? Or you see red.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But now that you mention it, archetype, you say?
That's one of the great things about the Pathfinder system.
Yeah,
So
the archetypes. We
there
can
you go.
tailor your class to your version of the fighter, your version of the barbarian, your version of the thief, or rogue, I think they call them now. I'm old school.
Jeremy, you've explored archetypes a little bit, like researched them some.
Oh, yeah.
And how about you? You have something in mind, if you want to share, or if
Oh,
you
yeah.
have any ideas.
Boddy now that he wants to really become a better medic, he'll be doing the medic dedication most likely. It would take a miracle to drag me off of that at this point. And it's cool. Medic dedication is really what gives you the path to be like a non-magical healer, focus on it. It lets you bump up your training in medicine to expert right off the bat, like at level 2, which is like a few levels ahead of like what you normally would. And it lets you. It gives you bonus healing if you try some of the harder healing, and it does some pretty good stuff. Yeah.
So,
And it leads down the path of more feats that are. So basically, what an archetype is, you take one of your class feats and sacrifice it, and bring in the archetype feat instead. So it also works for different classes. So if you wanted to splash rogue for multi-classing, that's how archetype feats work. That's how you get your barbarian rogue, your fighter mage, things like that.
Yeah.
And so for me, the medic dedication is what I'm going to go down with Boddy.
So something I noticed, or I just happened to realize in this playthrough, this session, I think if you're not necessarily used to Pathfinder, or I don't know, I think it may be a Pathfinder thing, right? If you don't, you would think, why would you not take magic? Why would you take, medic over magical healing?
Yeah.
I mean, magical healing is almost, it's almost guaranteed. You don't have to make any checks. You cast the spell.
dice.
Yes.
But as I'm looking through, with Inara being wounded, you have to spend a lot of magic in order to bring her up to full, and the higher the level she is, the harder that might be to get rid of that wounded condition. Whereas a medic has to make one check and do what's called
Treat
wounds, and it's gone.
True.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting that there are areas
is
where
a bonus.
just being a physical healer is maybe has advantages over magic.
Because you might still be down 10 hit points, but you've lost the wounded condition.
Yep.
Whereas unless you heal all the way up, that's a risk.
Or think about it. Now, right now, that was, this session, Inara was at level 1.
Yeah.
But imagine if he was level 5 and had like 100 hit points and was down to like 4 and wounded. How much healing do you have to do to get back up to that 100 hit points?
A lot.
To get rid of the wounded
To get rid of that
condition.
wounded condition. Whereas Boddy can treat wounds, make a successful roll, and that's gone. So you're not getting back maybe as many hit points, although I think there's been times when Boddy's done more healing than any potion that we've taken.
Yes.
So.
If I use my risky surgery specifically, it gives me an automatic critical, which is 4d8 healing, and I can do that every hour, which is nice.
I mean, and even flavor-wise, I think it's really cool to have a non-magic healer.
Me too.
I think you don't really see it. I think
It does
it's
make
very
your group
unique.
very distinct.
Yeah,
You
it's
never
very
see a
unique.
group without a healer.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a healer.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But-
without a magical healer.
Yeah, and if Boddy
Not a
can,
cleric.
yes, not a
Yeah.
not a,
Yeah.
exactly. If Boddy levels up a little more, it'll become even more pronounced, like the benefits. But you're sacrificing other things that might make you either more combat functional or magically functional or you're. But that's the flexibility of Pathfinder. You can, and to be honest, some levels, all your options kind of suck. You're like, what am I going to take this level? And the archetype feats kind of help you balance that stuff out and really customize your character.
I think Inara might nudge you to become an archetype cleric of, what was that guy's name?
Caden Callian,
Oh,
right?
the
We would
drunken dude?
Very much enjoy that.
Yeah.
Or just take that guy with us.
They hired him to tag
New
along.
party member.
You get about halfway up to the castle and take a nap on the side of the road.
And Nara wants to have like every cool thing we encounter come with us.
Yeah.
Like, Borgie, you're with us. Turtle thing, come on. I got your baby. What are you gonna do?
Gotta build
Stagrum,
the party.
drunken cleric.
I would definitely replace Stagrum with the drunken cleric.
Yeah. Stagrum, we were talking about him earlier. He made kind of a side comment about the goblins that was a little concerning. He was like, "So now how do we clear these goblins?" I was like, And Boddy's been worried about that the whole time. Like, this guy, he's all about business, and he may see the goblins as vermin, as as corrupting his.
Well, the Order of the Nail is dedicated to expanding civilization.
I mean,
They're
goblins
civilized.
are
Goblin
civilized.
civilization.
He was going to civilize.
They live in the castle, after all.
Oh, he was going to civilize the guts out of it.
Nice. I love it. So now that I leveled up, because I'm talking about it, I've leveled up. I have 30 hit points now.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Feels good.
Wow, that's like 2 more than me.
Yeah. Plame is a tough little goblin, dude.
He is tough.
Ooh, does that come mostly from his constitution?
A lot from the Constitution. There was, I think, Bouncy Goblin, actually.
You get extra hit points for that? I thought I just gave you acrobatic bonuses.
Wait, he's Unbreakable Goblin. Excuse me.
Unbreakable.
Yeah, Unbreakable Goblin.
I like that.
I like that, yeah. So we've all talked about, he talked about...
So, I'm sorry. He is Unbreakable and Bouncy. Unbreakable is his heritage. Bouncy is his ancestry feat.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Unbreakably bouncy. Well, that's why he's
Unbreakably
unbreakable.
bouncy.
Because
He's built for the circus.
He's. It's not that he's unbreakable as in rock. He's unbreakable as in like trying to punch Stretch Armstrong. You can punch him and he comes back.
I was actually thinking of Stretch Armstrong. Yeah. So Boddy has talked about specializing in medic. There was a suggestion that she look at some kind of animal
Maybe.
Beastmaster.
Yeah, but probably also just
More barbarian.
hitting things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you two? What about Plame and Fawin? What possible specialties can we see from them in the future?
I had not given it thought until Jeremy brought it up, so I'm gonna have to go back and think about it.
Okay.
I will say, so the class feats at level 2 is like 1 skill increase and a couple of meh class feats. Some of them are okay, but not great. So, like you said, some of these really aren't great. So maybe I sacrifice a class feat for an archetype. Yeah, we might have to see. Now, once you take an archetype, you can still advance along both classes, right? Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
You have to take 2 things in the dedication before you can come back to the original. Is that right? Or before you can take another?
Correct.
Yeah.
So as you level up as your normal class, whatever abilities you get that aren't tied to feats, you still get those. So you're still like, you get all the rogue stuff. I think that rogues get level 3 to 2, 3, 4 normally. And then it's just the feats that change. So you can take an archetype feat in lieu of your class feat.
Yeah, so you lose a thief feat or rogue feat and get.
And is it class or skill feat? Or can you pick, or does it have to be sacrificing a class feat?
It can be. It depends on the archetype you take.
Uh-huh.
Some are skills, some are class feats.
Okay.
But yeah, usually feats.
Pathfinder is really about feats.
It's really about
It
feats.
really
very
is.
much.
Yeah.
It's all feats.
What about Fawin? Or is that
Yeah, so
TBD?
No. Yeah, it's a little bit to be determined. I also hadn't thought about any archetype feats necessarily, unless there would be one that really ties into more of the fate aspect. I'm really looking forward to things that enhance her witchiness.
Or witchosity?
Yeah, her witchosity.
So
So
you're going to take an archetype feat and Karen?
she, the witch feat I'm looking forward to next is probably cackle.
Cackle's cool.
Cackle?
Which, yes, cackle allows you to sustain a hex or a spell that has the sustainability as a free action.
You just got to cackle.
All you have to do is cackle. And of course, Fawin being a nice little rich girl, like it's not necessarily going to be a type of cackle. It'll probably be like, the hoo-hoo or some type of like, yes, the little like, the little tee-hee type of laugh. Like,
So that's actually the way it works.
yeah,
It's a
you cackle.
That's
And it
laugh.
causes everyone
a
else.
really cool
Yeah.
flavor.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
much that witch thing. Like, why do
Yeah.
witches go? It's
Maintaining
because
spells.
they're creeping everybody out and extending whatever effect they
I
just
have to
did.
say, even if Fawin was just back there giggling, it was going to creep Plame out.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what I see is that there could be this part of Fawin that does the hex of some type and then laughs about it, like kind of in a drunk with power type of aspect. Like that was great, So
You see how it's splattered.
yeah, and skill, but I'll look at archetypes and see because that could be cool. But that's the idea. Might look at the elven aspect of it too to see if anything more elven comes out, but probably not.
Yeah. Something
Just
nice
so
and
many
culty.
options.
Yeah.
There's so much, and there's nothing wrong with if you don't have to take an archetype feat.
No.
Right.
The feats that the classes get are really good for the most part. So it's a tough decision. It just depends on. I think whatever your character concept,
Yes.
it's more fun, even if it's a mechanically not quite a strong character, to live up to that that concept that you created in the beginning. Like what is fun to play, what makes sense in the
Well,
square
that's what
character
makes
story.
Boddy and Fawin. Same for Inara and Plame.
Yeah.
Or Fawin and Plame.
No min-maxing, just
Yeah.
figure out what
Right,
fits the
right.
character.
I mean, that's more fun. Right?
That's a ton more fun.
Everyone tries to min-max when they first play, and it
Yeah, it's
you realize
There
that
is
it's
some
not as
fun to it,
yeah, but
but it
It's
gets
harder
stale
to
fast.
well, we're min-maxing. We're minimizing the amount of wisdom we have in our party.
yeah,
Maximizing the amount of damage we take.
Yes.
Maximizing the amount of chaos that surrounds you.
Yeah.
So that is an interesting concept. So you were just talking about, the character and tying through things, and you'd ask, me if I was thinking about some kind of magic tie-in, but then you'd think, well, Plame is a fortune teller, among other things.
Yeah.
And which we kind of found at the end of this last episode because he had occultism and was able to, and I completely forgot as a player that he has identified magic with occultism and can identify magic items
Yeah.
and was able to maybe look at Fawin and say, I don't know if you're exactly right about that.
Plame's
that
knowledge
might be
may be
kind of
growing.
fun. Yeah. But not only that, he kind of, for maybe the first time in the whole thing, stepped back and said, maybe you're making a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How could Fawin get that wrong, right?
Just a small error. Yeah. And he's looking at the two bottles are the same, and Fallon's like, this one's black and this one's dark red. And he's like,
Are you colorblind?
they're both the same color.
Fawin's got the other one on their right-hand side blocking the shadow. It's in shadow, so it's obviously black. And this one holding it up to the light is obviously red.
Obviously. Oh, man.
So, out of curiosity, Alex Stagram, is that name come out of the module?
Yeah.
So, nothing special about Stagram and the name? Or
No, it's just a stag and a ram.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yep.
Sounds cool until you
does.
realize
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's just two things put together.
Until you realize it's just two things put together.
Yeah.
Any two things you put together sound good, though. I mean, you know, like birdfish or dragonile.
Speaking of Stagram, there is a Hell Knight dedication for archetype feat.
Oh,
Really?
So one of us could get into being
Hell
a Hell
knighting.
Knight.
hey,
Huh.
you
Who
would be
hit up
interested
Stagram,
in
like,
that?
I like you. Maybe I could learn. Could I maybe follow and polish your boots?
Plame found a future.
No, Plame doesn't like horses.
You know, last time we talked about accents a little bit and developing those, and you know, like
how they wander when you're doing two dwarves and women at the same time,
Oh, yeah, two goblins at the same time.
or goblin women. Sorry.
Yeah. Luckily,
it was hard to
guys,
do.
we should have had Warble and Helba talk to each other. We should have put Stacy
Oh, yeah.
in a mix where he would have to
Should've
talk
paired
to
them.
himself.
Yes.
Oh,
With two different accents that are constantly changing. Yeah.
that are very similar. That's right.
But
I'm
you asked.
sure. What?
Go.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure there'll be many characters with that accent.
You asked about Stagram's name. How about names? Like we talked about, did you develop accents or think about it beforehand? Inara, you mentioned in the past. Emily, you mentioned in the past about Inara. You just kind of like the name.
I just like the name. I picked it out of Firefly for anyone
Yeah.
who watched it,
Yeah.
and I like the name.
And
That's
Stacy
it.
did the lore drop because you actually went and looked up the name, and it meant like Master of Animals or something crazy
Well,
like that.
Inara was an old Babylonian or Sumerian, I think Sumerian goddess of animals.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, there we go.
It just
No
kinda
wonder.
happened,
You're like
but
Battle
it's meant
Snow
to be.
White.
And
It's like
lore.
it's a fate.
There
Yeah.
you go. Have you talked about Boddy before?
About what?
His name,
Boddy.
like where the name came from.
Yeah.
I feel like you've dropped some hints.
It's just it's mostly because he's a pretty tough, big, quiet hobgoblin, and it's just a nickname that he doesn't have a real. They're all just orphans basically in his group, and they're just little death machines. That hobgoblins are bred for war, man.
Yeah.
Clean
So
the
you
order.
got, like body and pecs and biceps. And
Yes. So Boddy is just.
Poor guy named Glutes.
No, I could see that. I could see a hobgoblin commander, overseer, whatever, saying, "Get that body in here," right?
Pretty much.
yeah, and his name would be Glutimus Maximus. he's the leader. Yeah.
Because all they are a bunch of warm bodies for the grinder.
Yeah.
And so he just goes by Boddy.
Do you think Boddy do you know anything about Boddy's family? I mean, I'm not asking you to share, but do you know anything about Boddy's family and orphan, like beyond he just was
He does
raised?
not know.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Nope. There's no lineage. It's just this body.
Trapped in a hobgoblin life until this elven magic prisoner showed up.
Boddy had very little expectation of survival, because if you're not, if you're not climbing, either way, if you're trying to climb the hierarchy of the ranks in the hobgoblin army, it's risky. And if you're one of the pawns in that battle, it's risky. Just basically, hobgoblin life is bleak and usually ends in slaughter. It's kind of like goblins, the same thing.
Yeah, you don't want too bad performance reviews.
Yeah. You don't want to be put on a performance improvement plan.
That's right. It just it's constant strain and trauma, and Boddy has no ambition for that kind of life. He doesn't want to get stuck in some grinder. He's too smart for that. So his path was to lay low, try to find some way to avoid getting thrust into that, and being a medic in the Hobgoblin camps was his way of doing it. And he didn't care to excel and be really good at it, because then he would catch notice and it would garner him attention. Unfortunately for him, an event happened that did garner some attention, and that's why he boogied. That's why he bailed.
Yeah.
And we'll learn more about that as the story goes on. Yeah.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, he's fun.
That's very cool. I don't have anything special for Fawin other than Fawin of Thanalissa is built off of, this concept is built off of a character from a first edition game that I played in way back in high school.
Oh, wow.
And so she is the story of her mom and dad is built back in to this first edition campaign way back from high school. And she's just, in my mind, in my mind's eye, she's existed, she's been born, she's out there, and this was a chance like, you know what? I think Pathfinder has witches. It's a chance to like bring her to life.
Awesome.
And so the Athanalissa thing actually comes from the Dragonlance aspect, like Lorana, Thanalis, and Tanthus. The male names are a little bit different, but it's a
Tenthalanis, I think.
yeah. It's a Dragonlance naming convention that I stole with that. But anyway,
That's really cool.
Plame, how about you?
Oh, Plains is easy. Yeah. No. So in like Pathfinder lore, if I understand correctly, the goblins, their mothers name their children after they like rhyming. It's a rhyming game, and so they generally rhyme with something that they like. And so Plame's mom likes fire, so his siblings are Plame for flame and Pyre for fire, and Burning Man for I don't know. Burning Man. But so he was just named out of it because his mother, I guess, enjoyed staring at the campfires and watching the flames and
Plame.
Plame.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that he had. I just thought it was just a random kind of
set of noises.
set a name that you pulled out.
No, yeah.
That's really cool.
The thought behind it anyway.
I didn't know that about Goblin lore.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure. It's been a long time since I've first started researching, but I'm pretty sure that's what it said. That's kind of the naming scheme.
And if it
that you
isn't,
see
it
in
is now.
Goblin Storm.
I love the way that Paizo has fleshed out goblins for Galarian. I think they're a really fun, playable race and fun antagonists, and because they're not this one-dimensional, super evil little munchkin that just wants, they're like little murder munchkins and everything else. In this, they have personalities. They have meddlesome intent most times. I think it takes a lot to get them to do outright evil, and so it's much more fun.
One goblins were definitely like they had that
maliciousness.
Humans saw the malicious evil, eat the babies intent. We be goblins, you be food type of thing. But like how you've talked about before, how they've segued into, hey, when we act that way, we tend to die.
Yeah, they
Natural
don't very long
selection.
normal. Yep.
They're like dogs. They're being like
the calmer ones have been able to become domesticated.
Maybe the slightly wiser ones, eventually. But and obviously with the Goblin Blood Wars making a huge impact on their population. You stick your hands in the fire enough times, eventually you're like, I like that fire, but I'm keeping my hands out of it.
Yeah, Boddy's the same way. He's got his ear out for a lynching at any moment. He's like, okay, when are the ones that hate the blueskins coming to get me?
Yeah.
So he's always very, very anxious about being in. That's why he's kind of quiet and reserved and doesn't want to get drunk. He's honestly paranoid that if he slips, it could be his end.
That's when Colleen comes, when the cleric comes in and starts passing out healing via drink. Yeah.
Boddy's like, no, thank you.
No healing.
Although that did lead to a very touching moment where you kind of reminisced a little bit about the impact of being in the party and that adventure.
That was very sweet.
Yeah, you guys are all having a good old time, and he's like deeply introspective. He's like, man, I feel like I have people that have my back for once ever.
Yeah.
Because everywhere, and this is in his backstory, everywhere else he's gone since leaving the Warrens has not been. There's not that feeling of camaraderie and any kind of fellowship. Not there.
And once again, we see that compassionate side of Inara come out because she notices Boddy is over there, like kind of on the side, not moping, but just down.
Yeah, he's just withdrawn.
Feeling bad about having shot or fallen in the face with an ice bolt.
More frustrated than feeling bad. having his mind controlled by another creature. But yeah, he actually cared that he hurt one of his party members. He's like, oh, what the hell?
Well, twice, and then he missed the healing check.
Yeah.
Yes, which really bothered him, honestly.
Yeah.
And surprised him that it bothered him. He's like, oh, I actually care. I've never cared before.
What's this feeling?
Which was that? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that fantastic moment between Inara and Boddy where you say, I only kept people alive, so just barely alive so they could torch. I didn't actually have to heal them.
Yeah.
Like all the way up.
Yeah. He's never had to actually try to keep someone alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the more Inara talks to Boddy, I feel like she realizes like how much, like she's really starting to feel bad for him. Like
He's had a
tough life.
yeah.
It's a hard knock life.
For Boddy. Yeah. He's just a fun character.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Like the way that.
Yeah, he was not the character I wanted to play originally. I had a whole different character planned out, and I was like, okay, let's make a misfit. Let's just do something completely different. What can I come up with? Because we didn't at the time. We didn't have a healer character, and I was like, well, I don't want to make a stereotypical cleric. Which
and we talked about that extensively, like long conversations about should we bring in a healer? Yeah, a magical healer.
yes, and so I played around with building a couple of those. Then I tried this, and I was like, and I looked into the medicine skill, and I was like, well, this is a lot more robust than it has been in any other edition of D&D or Pathfinder or any role-playing game. Like, usually the medicine skill is, oh, I can tell you've been poisoned. Oh, I can tell what bit you. Oh, I can tell how this person died. And then it's like, get mad, or to stop somebody from dying. Almost always, it's just to stabilize them, keep them from dying, and then you get magical healing, and that's the only way you heal. Or you sleep overnight and you heal all your hit points up, which you do not do in Pathfinder.
Nope. Yeah.
In Pathfinder, when you rest, you heal your Constitution modifier times your level, and that hurts at level 1 because you're healing like 1 to 3 hit points mostly in our party.
Yeah.
And if you're not a Constitution character, if you have a 0 Constitution bonus,
You get it's minimum 1, I think.
is it minimum 1?
Yeah. But that's not good.
No.
Because
Like
at second level, you get 2 hit points back after a night's rest.
That's not good.
I mean, Inara only gets 6.
Yeah.
I think.
And you're the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Body gets 6. But so yeah, the medicine skill is beyond that, is so much more functional. Like there's also like in medicine skill you can cure poisons, you can alleviate different conditions. It does a lot more if you invest into it. So I was like, okay, let's go down this rabbit hole. What can I do? And I was like, oh my gosh, this gets really cool. And beyond just like the 10-minute healing sessions out of combat, there's an ability to heal in the middle of combat. And since it's skill based, you can do this thing called assurance later on, which lets you take a 10 and you automatically roll. So you're healing like a caster. You're automatically healing, and so it gets really powerful if you can level up.
If you live long enough.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited about medicine.
Maybe one last thing, which could be really big, but maybe we'll keep it short. So as this ended, we went back to town, and there are like some pathways that have opened up. Like there's this thing with the Vas Lorraine. There's obviously going back to go help out the Bumblebrashers and Stagrim. There's this, and there's the ring that the halfling's talking about down there. Like, is there a particular pathway that you guys are looking for doing?
I'm seeing like the Stagrim and the Bumblebrashers. I'm seeing those as like kind of the side quests going on, and then I imagine this thing with Voss is probably the main thing.
You think it's kind of the hidden thing that now we found?
That we probably will be looking at. So that's just me. And that's why I kind of wanted to go back first before we start with Voss. But we'll see.
But Plame will point out that we made promises that we would come back the next day.
Yes, we
And
did.
Stagrum is expecting
Yep.
that as well. So
Yep.
I think there may be a little bit of a split. So there may be some part of the next day that we go and maybe investigate this bookstore. But at some point,
Split the party.
that's always good.
You guys go down into the deep dark dungeon. I'm going to go to the library.
But the library could be more
The
dangerous.
library
than
could be
the
more
dungeon.
dangerous because we don't know what this lady's.
Well, we need to probably just go check it out and not make any accusations.
Right.
Just play
Truly
dumb.
just go there for knowledge.
Correct.
And maybe
So
in the
Plame should
meantime.
go in and say, "Hey, are you a witch?"
So don't bring Inara.
The number of times Inara and Plame have just been like, blah, blah, blah. And, you know,
Also-
Fawin just like looks at him like, are you for like, shush.
And the Boddy has suspicion that there's something else in the Hell Knight castle that Stagrum's not telling us about. Like this book that he's looking for and the signet he's looking for. Like he's got the book now, and the signet. What if they do something together? What if there's like something he's not telling us about that he's trying to unlock?
Wonder Twins activate sort of a.
Yeah, but
There's a line that Stagrum said that is lodged into my brain when he said something about the ring is down there with the crypts because we don't like to disturb because the souls are portals or the dead are the portals. That has just
The dead are a portal to the other realm.
it's just emblazoned in me. So that's
go on down to the crypts.
That's something very like there's.
Yeah.
I think that's like levels 4, 5, 6, and 7. Like jump, 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 jump. Like, but you know, it makes me
see.
very nervous.
We're levels 2 dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stacy, what are you looking forward to us doing?
Oh man. Well, there's that big party wipe on the next level.
Again?
That's gonna be awesome.
One thing's for certain.
You
We'll
think
find
Stagrum
all
will?
about it in
Yeah.
our next episode.
Because it's time to roll for initiative.
Adventure time.